everybody. This is TaNaia coming at you today with an oracle reading. This oracle reading has a beautiful message. I think really for those of us that perhaps need a bit of reminding of who we are, and perhaps are feeling a bit overwhelmed, and it's just a reminder of who we are and how to flow with the universe. So without much further ado, I started by pulling from the archetype cards by Carolyn Miss. As you know, these are my favorite. Bottom of the deck was Hedonist, and I always use this card to sort of direct me and give me a theme for what the reading is about, or what the message is about. So this was quite interesting. Hedonist. Maybe let me bring it up a little bit. So this talks to, I mean, a lot of us, when we think hedonist, we think of someone who basically has no boundaries in terms of indulging themselves, right? But the light attributes of a hedonist are someone who inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life and celebrating the beauty of life itself. So that's the theme of what we're talking about. We're talking about remembering that our job here, or our role here, or what we're here for, is to embrace life and is to celebrate the beauty in life and in ourselves. And these next cards then, I think, show us in what ways, you know, what is there to be celebrated about ourselves or about yourself. So the first card here is Engineer, right? Again, engineer makes you think of someone who's very left-brained, is about mechanics and making things work. But you'll see that the light attributes is talking about using creative energy for practical expression. So being able to solve things, to come up with solutions. So that's actually one of the reasons why you can celebrate in yourself. You have an amazing ability to solve the problems that come towards you. You have the creativity as well as the ability to take that creativity and translate it into something practical to solve solutions, to solve problems in your life, should you come across them. Secondly, we have the Guide. Again, the Guide. We normally project this outside of ourselves. We think of guides maybe who are helping us on our way. But what this card actually helps us realize is that this nature of the divine lies within ourselves as well. So not only are we creative, but also practical, so that we can find solutions that we need in life, but we also have this side of us that is divinity, that is pure divinity. And if we allow it, it will guide us so that we can come to the solutions and that we need to so that we can see the beauty in our lives and see the beauty in the world. And then the last card that came out in terms of the archetypes was the Fool. Now, sometimes we associate, especially in tarot, the Fool is associated with new beginnings. But in this context, it's talking about, sorry, it's talking about thinking about like the fool as in, you know, what a clown, for instance, or what a comedian would do, right? Using humor in order to get things across. The light attributes here are saying fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. So This is very, very interesting because it's really telling a story of someone who has, you know, to be really good at this, you have to be really observational, right? You have to be able to observe and to be honest in your in the expression of what you've observed. So you have that as a gift, and this is something that you can use in combination with all these other gifts. So not only can you see things for what they are, and you can emote that, and you can help others, but you also have this problem solving skill or ability using your creative inner being, and that is the guide. So all of these, they might seem completely unrelated, but this is all to help us understand that when we talk about hedonist, and the need to be a hedonist is the need to revel in who we are and to see all the aspects of who we are, and then to celebrate the beauty that is ourselves. Now, this is always good in terms of helping us remember certain aspects of ourselves. But when I go into the hero's journey dream oracle, this is when I'm kind of looking for context, perhaps a little bit more to the story to understand, you know, why would someone need to be reminded of how amazing they are, and to really luxuriate in that. And the bottom of the card here was me time. So to me, that speaks again to luxuriating, right? This card says me time, enjoy your own company. So again, sometimes, right, you can take me time as loneliness, but what we're talking about here is appreciating those moments when you can be with yourself and explore the various facets of yourself, so that you can then you then know who you are in the world, and that affects how you approach things and how you act in the world. So this was very important. So bottom of the deck is me time. So this is about taking some time for me, listening into the inner guide, right? And what is the inner guide telling me? Well, or telling you in this case, well, it's firstly, how much good can you handle? Isn't this a great card? Like, how much good can you handle? Explore the upward spiral of grace. So when we do that, we actually realize just how blessed we are, just how held we are, just how not alone we are, because we've got this inner guide inside of ourselves to guide us, this piece of divinity that can help us to guide us, as well as these other skills that have been mentioned here. Specifically, if this reading resonates with you, the skill of being able to take creativity and make it and put it to practical use like an engineer would, and also the skill of being able to feel your emotions, express them honestly, and help other people to see the absurdity in life, or even the hypocrisy in life. So if that resonates with you, then this is really the reading for you. So how much good can you handle? There's so much good for us, and this is just reminding us that actually we sit on top of a whole mountain full of riches, really, if we take the time to have a look at that, and we take the time to explore within ourselves. Next card is stand up and be recognized. Behold, you are the inspiration you've been looking for. So again, when you take that me time, you give yourself time to reflect about who you are, what you are. And this card is actually saying, this is your time to be recognized. You are the inspiration that you've actually been looking for. You are amazing as you are. I mean, if I think about this card, hedonist, It's about revel in that, remember that, but not just revel in it. If you think about me time, it's about, you know, I think of like pouring a bath with, you know, bubbles and beautiful scents. This is what this reading is about, is even if you're feeling overwhelmed, or even if you're feeling alone, perhaps, it's actually a good time to use that time to find out more about yourself, to remember certain things about yourself, and to remember that actually you are so loved, that you sit with so much goodness, and that you yourself are the inspiration that you've been looking for. And then just to bookend the reading, we have build-in breaks. So again, this says build-in breaks, saunter slowly. I really like this, saunter slowly. So there's no rush to this process. I mean, if you look at her, she's very chilled, relaxed, laid back. And that's exactly, you know, what the journey is about. Saunter slowly. There's no need to rush. Flow with the universe. Know that you are held. Understand the skills that you have and the gifts that you have inside of you, especially the fact that you have an inner guide. The divine is in yourself. And then flow with it gently, right? Build in the breaks, build in the me time, so that you can actually enjoy this and get a moment to savor this and get a moment to remember everything that is at your disposal, that actually all is well. All is always well. Sometimes we don't see it, but if we take this moment to sit quietly and to reflect and to perhaps appeal to our inner guide, we will be shown and we will start to feel the ways in which we are so loved. And as this card says, how much good can you handle? There's just so much goodness. And maybe sometimes we don't know how to handle when the goodness comes to us. And maybe also if you don't pause enough and you don't saunter, right? You don't actually recognize all the goodness as it's coming to you. It's almost like you can't handle the goodness. So this, I think, is a reading very, very appropriate for someone who's perhaps feeling a little overwhelmed at the moment, who maybe feels lonely or alone. Just a reminder to revel in those moments and to use those moments for the best for yourself, and to remember all these amazing things about yourself. Now, what I'll do is just before I close the reading is I'll pull a card from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle, which is my favorite. And this card will then just close our reading off. So this might take a while because I do like the card to clearly fall out by itself. I almost can't imagine. Oops. Okay, that not so much. It's I was saying I almost can't imagine what more goodness can we put on the table here. So maybe this will be some advice. Maybe we can get a mantra. Okay, so I'll take the two. Bottom of the deck, energy of love. Behold the world through the eyes of love. So already, to me, that speaks to what we were talking about. And then the two cards that came up is make a change. Welcome change into your life, and do not be frustrated. Let go and be peaceful. So I suppose as we're trying to remember these amazing things, the fact is, we live in the world that we do, and it's not always easy to remember all these positive things that we are and all the positive things that we have at our disposal. But what these cards encourage us, and really their advice, is welcome change into our lives. So sometimes we may feel like at a stasis, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. So allow the change to happen and know that the change is happening guided by divinity, and that it's only good. And then do not be frustrated. So as we make the change, and sometimes we expect overnight change, and Spirit can do that. Spirit can give us overnight success if that's what we need at that particular point. But if things are moving perhaps at a slower pace than what we would prefer, the advice here is don't be frustrated, let go and be peaceful. Now, I did promise that I'll maybe get us a mantra, and I'll look at the mantra for do not be frustrated. I think that's the one that will be useful for our reading. So the mantra here, it's quite long. The mantra here is, I am letting go of what disturbs me and causes me pain. I am determined to overcome the challenges that leave me feeling stuck, frustrated, and hopeless. I will be more open to my heart and experiencing the joy of life. So that touches all the things that we were talking about. Embracing the joy of life here, right? Feeling alone and maybe stuck and frustrated, but being able to recognize all the good that is happening around us and being willing to make a change. So I'll repeat the mantra again. It says, I am letting go of what disturbs me and causes me pain. I am determined to overcome the challenges that leave me feeling stuck, frustrated, and hopeless. I will be more open to my heart and to experiencing the joy of life. So on that note, I hope that this reading has been very useful to you, and you found something that you can use and that resonates with you. If you enjoy my readings, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my details are in the box below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time with another oracle reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.